and we got a very difficult task down at the University of Louisiana. Billy Napier, I've known him for years, have great respect for him as a man. He's a great person of faith and also a heck of a football coach, and he's doing a great job there in year 2. Louisiana has athletes throughout the state. They don't have to go very far to get their team and to recruit them, and it shows on the tape. Played SEC school last week to a 10-point game, which is I'm sure they wanted to win it too, but they were in the game and had a chance. Haven't gotten a chance to watch that in its completion yet to kind of know how it happened, but it has my attention. I do know that their 3 running backs are as talented as probably any we will face this year. They all rushed, one for over 1,000. Raymond Kalalis, Trey Regis, and Elijah Mitchell. I mean, you're talking about 3 backs last year that one had 1,000, one had over 800, one had over 700. So they're kind of a 3-headed monster and tons of motions and shifts that in a week's worth of planning, you've really got to be on top of your game to not be confused defensively in your alignments and your assignments. And offensive line coming into the year, it was senior-laden, experienced. I think they lost a kid last week. We're not sure how long he's out, but they were a senior-laden offensive line, and that should be the strength of their team is their rushing game. They add Levi at quarterback. He is a kid I knew of out of high school, Levi Lewis, very athletic, one of those that makes you scared to rush him too much because he may use his feet. Compare him a little bit to Willis, who we have that's transferred here now, and he makes you nervous when he gets out of the pocket. And so we got to think about how we're going to play that and contain him when he does break down. Had a new receiver last week that we didn't know about that led them in receptions, in Jamal Bell. He had over 100 yards receiving, and he was not one that was really listed anywhere coming into the year that we had on our depth chart already because we kind of pre-planned for him in the summer. So that's a new kid that we've got to be aware of. But offensively, they're multiple. They were about 50-50 last week in rush pass. So you have to defend both, and they present a challenge with all of the different pitchers that they do give you. Defensively, they are primarily based out of a 3-man front, but like all other schools, we'll get in some 4-man stuff also. And Ron Roberts, their defensive coordinator, he and I actually go all the way back to high school coaching together. Not on the same staff, but he was at a school in Memphis when I was a high school coach there also, so I've known him for years. And congratulate him on his move up, and he's worked very hard to get to that point and has done a great job everywhere he's been. I knew of the job he did at Delta State was phenomenal, and he's a great man also. I would say that the strength of their team is probably their front. I think they're bouncing between the 3 down, the 4 down always is a little bit of a guessing game that presents you as a play caller. But they are athletic up there. The linebackers run extremely well. Secondary-wise, they moved a kid that was a receiver last year, Michael Jaquette. He's a 6'2" kid that they moved from receiver to DB, and he was one of the more impressive ones that we saw last week. And Jaquez Boudreaux is, he was an all-conference player at linebacker last year that's returning also. So they present some different looks for you. Coverage-wise, that we've got to get Buckshot ready for and get him comfortable with. I think that was one of the things last week that I was most disappointed in is just he looked uncomfortable from the start, and that had really no signs of that coming out of fall camp. And so it's our job now to get a plan in place that makes him feel very comfortable to get us off to a good start.